Well, I was panicking. This is my life savings, and I don't have any assurances.
That moment cost Dave $27,000. $27,000, every dollar he had saved, gone in just a matter of hours. And the most shocking part? Dave didn't lose the money to hackers. His credit card wasn't stolen. Instead, scammers convinced him to withdraw the money himself and deposit it directly into their account. The nightmare began in late January in Peoria, Arizona. Dave had been running errands around town when his phone buzzed with a message. The text looked legitimate. It appeared to come from Bank of America. The message asked a simple question. Did you make a recent $399 purchase at Best Buy? Concerned someone might be using his card, Dave quickly replied with one word, no. Moments later, he received instructions to call a phone number. What happened next would become one of the most convincing scams investigators say they have seen.
Sounded like they were from Bank of America. I asked for an ID number. They gave me one of those.
The voice on the phone sounded calm, professional, and convincing. The caller told Dave that his account had been compromised. According to the caller, someone was attempting to steal his banking information, but then came an even more alarming claim. The caller told Dave that the person responsible was a Bank of America employee working inside the bank. Dave's entire account, they warned, was in serious jeopardy. To protect his savings, Dave needed to act immediately, and most importantly, he needed to stay on the phone with them the entire time.
Just said, your whole account is in jeopardy.
Following the instructions, Dave drove to a nearby Bank of America branch. He believed he was working with the bank's fraud department, but in reality, scammers were guiding him step by step. Inside the bank, Dave withdrew cash from his accounts. Then he withdrew more. By the time he finished, he had made 2 separate withdrawals totaling $27,000, his entire life savings. But the scammers were not finished yet.
At that point, they gave me instructions how to use my iPhone to tap into an account.
The scammers now moved to the next stage of their plan. They instructed Dave to use his iPhone to create a card inside his Apple Wallet. But the card he activated was not connected to his own bank account. It was linked to an account controlled by the scammers. Detectives later explained that the scammers used this trick to activate the ATM using Dave's phone. Still on the phone with them, Dave drove to the bank's drive-through ATM. Then he followed their instructions. He deposited the cash, all $27,000 of it, straight into the criminal's account.
Well, I was panicking. This is my life savings, and I don't have any assurances.
Within hours, Dave's life savings were gone, but something didn't feel right. The next morning, Dave contacted Bank of America's fraud department. According to Dave, he was told there was little the bank or law enforcement could do. Still uneasy, Dave decided to make another call. Because he felt something was off, he contacted the Peoria Police Department right away. That decision would turn out to be critical. The call reached Detective Mike Finney, a member of Peoria Police Department's Financial Crimes Unit.
They used Dave as the victim to participate in his own fraud.
Detective Finney quickly realized the scam was unusual. Instead of hacking a bank account, the criminals manipulated Dave into moving the money himself.
They basically turned his phone into a weapon to hold him hostage.
Detective Finney says it was the first time he had ever seen scammers use this particular method. The criminals convinced the victim to create a card in Apple Wallet, allowing them to activate the ATM using the victim's phone, essentially turning the victim's own device into the tool used in the crime. And in cases like this, time is critical. Detectives typically have only about 72 hours to reverse a money transfer before the funds disappear. Detective Finney quickly contacted Bank of America, obtained account data, and wrote a search warrant requesting a freeze on the accounts. Then the investigation began. Financial crime investigations like this can take months. In Dave's case, it took nearly 5 months of investigative work. During that time, detectives traced the financial trail across multiple accounts. Eventually, investigators located the account receiving Dave's money. It was connected to a bank account in Florida. And after months of work, something rare happened. Authorities managed to recover about 90% of Dave's stolen money.
But without the help of Peoria police, I'd be living with family. I'd be completely destitute.
For detectives working financial crime cases, outcomes like this are rare.
You get a 1 in 10 win ratio. It's discouraging, but this one definitely lifts us all up, and it shows that our work does matter.
The investigation into Dave's case is still ongoing. Detectives are waiting for additional banking information that could help identify the suspect connected to the Florida account. But Dave's story now serves as a warning. If you ever receive a message from your bank, do not call the number included in the text message. Instead, grab your credit card and call the number printed on the back. And if something feels suspicious, contact your local police department immediately. Because scammers today don't always steal your money. Sometimes they convince you to give it to them yourself.